And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Jedi Academy. I'm your host, Ranger J 1999. Glad to have you guys here on a Saturday. You can be doing all kinds of things, but it doesn't matter because you're here with us. Welcome to the Jedi Academy. This is a Q&A show for the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And we got a great panel for you guys this morning like we always do. And a couple things of how this format works. Then we'll introduce everybody and get this thing started. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe. That's always important. And then if you have a question for the panel, this is a straight Q&A show. And the way you get your question answered is first you have to submit it. So get those questions into chat and those will get scooped up. But the way they get scooped up is you have to put question in front of your statement. So put the word question in front of your statement. That's the only way we can filter it out on Nightbot and then get rocking and rolling. That being said, I'm Ranger J 1999, your host. My co-host with me is from the Reality Scoot Gamers, and that's Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the Troll Extraordinaire. Dr. Finn, how are you?
Hi, everybody.
And there's Dr. Finn. And let's introduce the rest of the panel. We've got, let's see here. Who do we want to go? We'll go with the man, the myth, the legend, the returning champion. We've got Warrior from Warrior Presents here.
What is going on this morning?
Yep. We also have from the Alliance stream, we've got Ramon Azab.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guy? Also joining us, we've got the Smuggler Lover. We've got Clash here's with us.
What's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Awesome, thanks.
There we go. And then we also have with us from the Operation Metaverse, we've got the Carolina's Finest, not to be confused with the Carolina Reaper. We've got good old Maurice.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think I'd prefer to eat a Carolina Reaper over trying to win another battle with the Finalizer.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, so that was disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. All right, so get your questions in, submit them. I think I introduced everybody. Oh, we have Sir Loki's here with us this morning. Sir Loki, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sir Loki, as you know, is part of the Archie crew. Where are you in the world right now, Sir Loki?
Northern California.
Okay, there you go. All right, so that's the introduction of the panel. Start getting your questions in. We kind of keep this to a 2-hour stream. So if you want your questions to get in there, make sure that you get them in sooner rather than later. There will be a time stop that we start wrapping it up. So if you want to get that question in and get an answer for our wonderful panel of experts, then now is the time to do that. All right, so what we like to do at the beginning of the show, while the questions are coming in hot and heavy off the presses, is go around and kind of give everybody a chance to talk about what's on their mind in the game. Now, Warrior, I know you don't play the game anymore, but you have your thoughts. Or anything in particular about anything you want to bring up?
Oh, just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
The silence is.
Yeah, the silence
says it
palpable.
all.
Yeah, the silence says it all. All right, we'll go to good old Maurice.
Hello.
What's on your mind this week?
other ships.
Oh, there's.
So we can-
Oh, well, he's back. Warrior was delayed.
He's driving right now to work, so I'm
He's
guessing
driving
he
to
hit
Warrior.
one
We'll
of those
come back
gap
to Warrior.
spots.
Yeah, well, he hit a bad spot, so we'll go back to Warrior. Good old Maurice.
Am I here now?
Yeah, you're here now.
Yes.
We'll come back to you, Warrior, until you get to a better spot because you cut out
Weird.
completely. Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was just saying, I'm glad that ships introduction is that they brought in the capital ships. It would be nice to see that they bring in actual ships, regular ships. So it's not like houndstooth. Like it would be nice to actually have ships to place with these capital ships for everybody. So it's nice to see part of ships being touched a little bit for the community. So there's that. I like that.
Yeah. We definitely need more ships though, because good lord. Good old Maurice, what's on your mind this past week?
Oh,
What do you
not
think
too
about?
much. Just getting ready for these Galactic Legends.
Yeah. I don't know how you felt. I don't know which. Are you going for Rey or Kylo Ren first?
Kylo.
Okay, I'm going for Rey, and I got to tell you that my soul hurts after Gear 12 in and getting ready to Relic Resistance pilot, and now Rose. So I don't know if you have any kind of sensations like that on the other side of the board.
Not too much, man. I mean, the one I'm least excited about is First Order Officer. I don't mind Vet Han. Like,
Yeah, he's okay.
I had him in Gear 12 already. I used to use him a lot. One of our very first videos was a Vet Han video. I'm not too upset about that. And with the reworks, he's useful. Just unfortunately, it's for the faction I'm not working on. But one day, I'll be able to use him with my Resistance team. So I'm not too upset about any of the requirements. They're pretty much, like I said, I mean, I expected. We talked many times. I mean, I was anticipating R7 and all the characters. Maybe not so many characters, but
yeah.
It is what it is, and we still have a lot to see about these tickets. The tickets are the big question mark, right? Like, so it's tough to, I don't know. I don't really know what to do. So I got all my characters Gear 13, and I'm just kind of sitting on relic materials until they announce it, because I don't want to ruin my Grand Arena matchups with.
I haven't even gone that far. I've just been hoarding all the pieces just to take the characters up. We still have another quest round to go, so I don't know if it's going to be more characters and ships, all ships, a combination. I don't know what they're going to do. So I think we're all kind of in limbo waiting. So it is what it is. All right, Clash, what's on your mind? What's going on with you this past week in Star Wars? Anything you're thinking about? He who is Clash.
They've there's a lot of good smuggler stuff going on. The vet announcement was, I'm fine with it. My R7 vet Chewie is what I'm hoping gets added to the Resistance side. I don't think I'm not going for Kylo, so that doesn't really help me that I have an R7 vet on.
Mm-hmm.
But I am excited they got the faction tag. That's awesome. I'm excited for this Grand Arena for the feats because obviously they'll be easy for me, but they'll be fun too. So I'm pretty stoked.
All right, Ramon, what's going on with you? What are you thinking about in the game, my friend?
I took a moment to behold the nonsense as the requirements for these two characters yesterday, and I think that I don't know. I think it's definitely the most requirements we've ever had for anything in this game before, and it's like. I mean, I was really just thinking about how much you'd have to actually get. If you were I mean, I know some of you are already like prepared for this because you had let's say some Gear 13 First Order characters or Resistance characters, but now that they threw in the new characters, obviously we're probably still going to be getting these capital ships as requirements as well. I mean, it's a lot. And I don't know. I just think it's I think it's a little too much, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not always too much, but I'm saying this time it seems really a little too much. I don't know. It's just I can't imagine myself getting any of these characters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's like having to get Resistance Hero Finn. I mean, fortunately I did farm Rose to 7 stars a couple weeks ago. I was able to finish that, so that's cool. But I mean, also having to decide between which one you want to get. I mean, if you go for one, the other one's going to be way. I'm saying I'm talking for somebody who's just farming and just taking their time to do it. It's going to take a really, really long time.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you just have to I think me and Good Maurice going for Kylo. I'm going for Rey. So, I mean, you just have to kind of bear down. And I think it depends on where you're at with the game. I mean, for me to farm these characters, I'm just, preparing for the Radis to be a part of this somehow, some way, especially now that Holdo's a part of it. So I'm just kind of hoarding and waiting. I'm already working on Finn. I'm going to be buying his shards out of the shard store. Just to speed up the process and stuff, and I'm refreshing his node. It's the only thing I really can do because I'm not going to spend money. I've got the crystals to do it, so I think it depends on where your account is.
Yeah,
yeah, that's all you can do, man. You just have to kind of pick. Once you're in the position, you just pick it and go for it. Just like some of this other stuff. Once you make a decision for gas, I always tell people then you go all in and get your characters ready for it. So, all right, Sir Lucky, what's on your mind, my friend? Anything on your mind about the game this week?
Not really, man. I'm just grinding. I'm going for Raid 2. I guess it's the last four requirements. Is it as easy to say that it's going to be Poe and the 3 droids, or are they going to throw a curveball in one of those 4 requirements? So I'm kind of dreading that.
Yeah.
My Holdo and Rose were unfortunately done like 3 years ago, when they were meta for about 2 weeks in Territory War.
2 weeks.
I get to finally utilize those 2. But other than that, just grinding away. I like that the added tags as well with the veterans, and I'm hoping that they release more resistance leaders, because now we got a bunch of tunes, but I think we only have 2 leaders. Hopefully Rey's going to be a leader. They haven't said anything yet. They said they're going to be plug and play, but that doesn't mean she's going to be a leader, right? But, I'd be curious to see the direction they go, and hopefully when these Galactic Legends do drop, they're actually good, and you can't beat them with old meta teams like they've done already. So yeah.
All right, and Dr. Finn, anything in your mind?
I will give my opinions at 7 p.m. today on the new episode of Good and Bad.
That's true. That's right. So you can check that out as well.
I think I'll just save time, so we'll let our
nice plug. I like that.
Pop out.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a whole video talking about everything you guys are talking about, so I was like, okay,
that's true.
We'll just wait.
That's science, good old Maurice. You can't argue with science. All right, so the questions are starting to come in. Make sure you guys get your questions in. I'll say it again. If you don't have a question in front of your statement, we will not scoop it up. So you've been warned. Finn's scooping them up. So help Finn to help you. Help Finn help you. So there's kind of a Dutch door action thing going there. All right, we're going to get started with the questions. We'll start with Warrior and just work our way around the panel. What do you got for Warrior first, Dr. Finn?
So I'll give kind of a serious and funnish question for Warriors. Question from Apropos Wooin. He said, after we got a confirmation on Wednesday that Scissorman is back, can we expect more videos? So is Scissorman back, Warrior?
Yeah, did you guys know about that?
No.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing, Warrior.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. It did happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Scissorman is not back. But yeah, so on my live stream, it wasn't my account. It wasn't Scissorman per se. It was SureShot's account. But I leaned over and I played his account one time in his arena because he was like, hey, you want to do that? I was like, and then I played his arena, and that was fun. That was pretty fun. I kicked major butt. And then he was like, oh, you got to do ships, you play regular arena, you got to do ships arena. And so then I played a ships arena battle. That was pretty fun as well. So yeah. I already said SureShot was going to be on, of course, and he's going to have his account on from time to time, and it's content, right? So I'll have his account on from time to time, and I think people obviously enjoy it. I mean, the majority of the people, pretty much everybody that watches the channel watches from the past is Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. So, of course, having that content on is something that I'll have on from time to time. So will it happen in the future? Of course.
All right. And then
But there is no Scissorman back. So there you go.
There you go. Fish it.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll kind of give you a general one then, Warrior. From Bale Rip Papachulo. Question, what faction would you like to see get improved and vice versa nerfed, and why?
Faction improved overall. That's a tough one because they've done a really good job of kind of balancing factions. And that's a good one because really they've done a good job of balancing factions over the last year. I would say probably I'd really like to see them probably, I don't know. That's actually a really, really, really good question because they've done a good job of balancing and nerfing all the factions. All the factions are pretty balanced at this point. I mean, there's a really good team in basically every faction. I mean, from First Order to Resistance to Rebels to Jedi to Sith. I mean, they all have a really, really solid team. There's, great synergy. Galactic Republic, Separatists, they're all really great.
All right.
I don't know. I think they've done a really great job over the last year for Grand Arena Championships, building a paper, rock, scissors for Grand Arena Championships with all of the different factions. I think the only faction that really doesn't have a place anywhere right now is
The Tuscans.
Yeah, they don't have anything. There's only 3 of them to begin with, so there's nothing there, and so that they would need more characters added physically to even become more relevant. And then my Gamorrean Guard, he doesn't really have a home yet. Still, he's just kind of all by his lonesome. So there's that, and I don't see any faction that really needs, suppressed at this point. There's nothing that's overly powerful.
All right. All right, next question, Dr. Finn. We will go to Operation Metaverse's male counterpart, Good Old Maurice.
Okay. So, Gom, question to you from Elliot Worsfold. And the question is, any tips for the finalizer bonus tier?
Well, kind of sucks they don't let you use Special Forces TIE Pilot in that event. That's kind of silly, because that's really the key to the whole thing. He's a really, really good ship for this capital ship. I will say a lot of your success depends on your stun, if you can land it. That's pretty important. I think I used Houndstooth, and I used the 2 TIE pilots to begin. Now I did it 3 times actually. I refreshed that event twice instead of going for the pack. So I used the silencer and the regular TIE pilot and Houndstooth to start, and then I brought in the rest of the ship. Bringing Houndstooth, you don't have to use that hunted ability first. Just because it's an option doesn't mean you have to use it, right? So you got 2 stuns essentially. You've got Kylo's initial attack, he's going to go first, and then you can just use the Hux, the Finalizer's basic attack, to call Kylo to assist, and then hopefully you can stun 2 ships. That's what I did. I found that to be the quickest way to do it. Like I said, I've played with the ship maybe 10 times, so I'm by no means an expert on how to do it, but that's what I personally did, and it worked pretty well. The shuttle is very, very good. Now, knowing I think a lot of people are unfamiliar with how the shuttle works. It's a very, very good ship. It adds some survivability. You can swap turn meter all over the place. If your ships get dazed, though, you're in trouble. That's the problem, because you're facing the negotiator, so you got to fade some days too as well. So there's a little bit of RNG, but that I did find this one way more difficult than the Radis bonus tier. That one I found a little way easier than this one. This one can be kind of frustrating.
All right.
Yeah. The shuttle definitely saved it for me in that bonus tier. Even with the days on something like a Houndstooth, when he has if he has the days, and as long as he doesn't have buff immunity, if he's lost his taunt or whatever, you can still do the trying to gain 100% turn meter on him, which fails, but it reduces his cooldown so he can bring up his taunt quicker. That's what I found was always screwing me, was the lack of taunt by Houndstooth. So shuttle was awesome for that. But First Order are definitely fun. Okay. So where's the next question going, Ranger?
Next question, we will go to Clash.
Okay, so Clash, question to you, and I think Clash, you have a feeling of what the questions are, because our viewers know exactly what you love, Clash. So, question to you from Jason Krulik. Which Resistance teams are you looking forward to testing now that the vets are getting the Resistance tag?
Yes, very nice. So I do like the idea of, even though I don't have them geared up yet, the Resistance Finn, the Resistance hero Finn with like JTR, because that forces a taunt and she's a good leader already, and that of course will benefit the vets because they're gonna increase their crit damage and their offense and things like that. So that's a good one. I wish she wasn't an evasion tank, because it would actually be better if there was a tank like her up front that was taking some damage. So either Resistance hero Finn with her as the leader, or maybe even just the old school Finn as the leader. And then honestly, I haven't figured out in my mind what I would want the other one to be, whether it's a BB-8 or something like that. I don't think BB-8 would really make sense anymore if you've got both of them in there, because they're going to be doing enough damage and they don't really need to be going super fast anyway. So, yeah, I think that's the combo I'm going to try once we get the tag. Is I'm going to try first the old school Finn with them, and then see what sort of combos I can make with the other two.
All right. Next question, Dr. Finn, for Ramona. You're muted, Finn.
Oh, I thought I unmuted. There we go. Okay. So question to Ramon from Jason Krulik. Which characters and ships do you think will make up the last group of requirements for Galactic Legend Rey and Galactic Legend Kylo?
That's an interesting one. I think that, obviously we're talking Finalizer and Radis. And I think they'll probably require... they're gonna it's gonna have to be a capital ship and 3 ships, right? So,
possibly. I mean, they could very well just throw the capital ship and some characters if they. I have no idea. It seems like 3 ships makes the most logical sense, though. But they've defied logic.
Yeah, it's true. I would say that we're probably talking for Rey, Scavengers, Millennium Falcon. Let me pull this up here so I can kind of get a look at the ships in front of me, because it's a little. For the First Order side, you have Kylo's shuttle, the Finalizer. I'd say the TIE Silencer, and probably First Order, either First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter or First Order TIE Fighter. I would say that they're probably going to go with First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter, because he's probably the least had. They're going to do data on which one has the least amount of people have, and they'll go for that most likely. So I'm thinking probably Special Forces TIE Fighter will be the requirement, and with Kylo's shuttle and the silencer. And then I think on the other side, you're talking the Radis, Rey's shuttle, and there's really no other Resistance ships, right? So
it's only 3, yeah.
So probably Poe's ship, and the third would have to be something off the wall here. So maybe Han's Millennium Falcon, maybe the Y-Wing, because that's kind of a rare ship to have at this point. Maybe the Y-Wing will be the requirement there, because it's going to have to be a non-Resistance tag ship. So,
yeah, we talked about this earlier.
Or Resistance X-Wing. Sorry, Resistance X-Wing. That could be the third one.
Well, yeah, you have X-Wing. You've got, Rey and Finn, and their Millennium Falcon, and then you've got Poe, right? And then if you throw in the Radis, it's 4 ships, right? We know there's 4 something in that going to be in that part of that last requirement, right? But who's to say they don't say, hey, you need Resistance here, Poe, and the Radis, and then these 2 ships. They can do anything. So there's really nothing. We have no idea what direction they're going to do for that last part, which I hope they announce soon, because we're about to be in the March. Event's supposed to happen in March. So
someone told me the other day they thought it was going to be an R7 Emperor Palpatine for both of them.
Wouldn't that be just slimy? Oh God! And it's not even the Palpatine from the version of the movie that just came out. So it's like,
right?
Oh
Lord! What if they just straight up pull it all out, all the stops out, and they're just like, listen, you're gonna need a Relic 7 Coruscant Underworld Police. Everybody.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What if they were just like, listen, this is going to mean absolutely nothing to you guys, but you have to do this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I hope that's not the case. All right, let's move on to the next question, and we're going to go to Sir Loki for the next question there, Dr. Finn.
Okay. So Loki, question from Bailrit Papichulo. Question is, where do you feel the finalizer fits into the game?
Loki?
That's a good question.
There he is.
I don't know. It's too soon to say right now. It's probably good against a rebel fleet. So, in territory war or GAC, if you go up against the regular Akbar Hans Millennium Falcon team, it's probably good against that. It gains a bunch of turn meter. I was surprised it doesn't have a. Does it have an ultimate? It doesn't have an ultimate, right?
No.
I wasn't able to do anything.
The
with
finalizer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has an ultimate, but it's weird because it's an ultimate that opens up on turn 1. It's the one that adds the hunted.
Yeah. It adds the hunted, and you spread the hunted around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of like a special, but it's a ultimate. It's weird.
Crap is what it
is. It doesn't
Yeah.
do much because if you try to do the ultimate on one that you did it on, it just didn't do anything, right? So you got to spread it around. I wish it was like Plague or something, right? Where it's like it would spread itself around. That would be kind of cool. But the way I'm seeing it right now is the Radis is like a hard counter to Negotiator, I guess, and then Finalizer's like a hard counter to Rebels. That's what I'm slowly seeing right now. I guess it does good against Malevolence as well, but I see it on offense. You really have to take control of that quote unquote ultimate ability that starts and spread that hunted around to really do its thing. It's a complicated kit. I think it's too complicated for the AI to play, but it's going to be good on offense.
Okay.
It will kill Geos, by the way. Because the hunted is annoying, right? It's not really a great ultimate, but what it does is it reduces the damage that you deal if you attack out of turn. So if you stick that at the beginning,
Geos are going to be on Malevolence, right? So I mean, it's going to be good on that. I don't know. I think they need to really fix Malevolence still. It's still kind of wonky, but it's an offense ship. It's going to be good for that.
Okay.
All right, next question. We're going back up top to Warrior, Dr. Finn.
Okay. So Warrior question from C Dangers. And the question is, I have a speed set square that has no speed secondary, but has hit offense 5 times. Should I sell or hold on to it?
Never sell. Ever. Don't ever sell. When it's something like that. Offense is great. So sometimes you still need speed on a character with offense, and you've got other speeds, sets that's going to have the speed that you're looking for on speed secondary, but you still need that offense boost. So just look for characters that need to be fast but need offense, and you're going to use that offense that trip like that. So that definitely don't ever get rid of something like that. Bad. Keep it. There's a lot of attackers that need to have speed and offense. Lots of them. Science.
All right. Next question to Carolina's finest, good old Maurice.
Okay. So Maurice's question is from Wilmo18, and the question is, does the specific order of bugs really make a difference? And does Nightsister order matter too? Daka in the 2nd and Zombie in the 5th. I know 5s needs to be last, but what about everyone else?
Well, this is something we talked about on Ramon's show, and actually we talked about on our show the other night. And actually, Clash was on our show the other night, and he's done extensive testing with the bugs. You there, Clash?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you want to tell him what you were saying the other night? You've done the testing. I was just.
You have opinions too. I'll go after you, but sure.
Well, just in theory, what people have been suggesting is that the order in which you put your characters, and they kind of hinted at it in the post, how you set up your characters is the order in which they attack. So, in theory, you'd want your leader for the Nightsisters, and you'd want Nightsisters Zombie second, so she could swoop in and be the first, if you will, on the assist, land the tenacity down. That way your stuns from Daka and Asajj can land, your turn meter move from Spirit can land. In the case of the Geos, and in theory, you want Sunfac go first, Dispel, and then you could have Geo Soldier go second for the tenacity down, and then you land your ability block, and then Spy pops off with his little weak basic attack at the end. This is the theory that's been going around. It's been a hot topic for a couple weeks now. But Clash actually did some testing with it. So if you want to go ahead and go for it.
Yeah. Well, so I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, because when I went through and I would change order up, sometimes the order of debuffs landing, or at least appearing on the bug or on the enemy, did change, right? So if I switched Sunfac and Sunfac and Soldier, from second to fifth or second to fourth, and switch them up, sometimes it would go, critical chance down and then tenacity down, or vice versa. It didn't matter where I put Poggle, ability block seemed to be like always the last one to show up, no matter what. And so some people suggest that there is it has to do with the speed of the animation. Some people suggest that it doesn't, but I did a lot. In fact, I'll throw it in here if you guys want. I made an unlisted video, and so it's really, really boring to watch because it's slowed down at one speed and then slowed down again to 10% of that. So if you want to see it, I'll link it to Affinity, and you guys can watch. But it's just 8 minutes of me going through and not really having a conclusive answer. So can't really answer that one very well. Sorry.
Science.
Some characters do simply attack a lot faster than other characters. Some characters have really slow animations. So if you even do put them first in the rotation, they're just so slow. The other characters might go and land an attack. I don't know. I guess I don't think anybody really knows, or not anybody. I don't know the answer, I guess.
I mean, so I'll ask this too, because this was one of the things that did bother me about the Q&A. Were you disappointed by the answer they gave? Because their answer was literally just test it out and experiment on your own. It almost felt like they don't know the answer to this question, so they just deferred it to just figure it out on yourselves.
Yeah, 100%. They 100% punted.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, I was just saying they 100% punted on that one.
Well, this time it's like they took the hard questions, but they didn't answer any of them. They fielded them and then just pushed them away, or gave the same answer 4 times to the one, when's the new content? What do you guys think of content? What's the layout of the content? They gave the same exact answer, which didn't give us any sort of answer. Just we're doing some things in the back end, over and over and over again. So, yeah. I don't know.
My favorite was still, are we going to see any more of these tank ships in the game? And they mentioned a bunch of tank ships, and the response was, I like those ships. What? That's not the question. It's what the hell?
Now that one, I feel like that specific one, they kind of gave a little hint, you're onto something with the bomber. So maybe we get that resistance bomber we've been speculating on. Maybe we get a TIE bomber, or maybe the bombers, any bomber ship in the game will indeed be a tank. So I don't know.
I think we're also trying to read a lot into it now with hopes.
Yeah, that could be the case. Overanalyze, yeah.
Pretty much. All right. Next question. Speak of the devil, we go to Clash.
Oh. Okay.
Save every one of us.
He's a smuggler. Do. Okay. B-Rit, Papi Chulo, question to you. Now that the vets have the resistance tag, do you think we will see resistance teams become stronger in modes like GAC and Territory Wars? And Clash is on mute if he's saying anything. I'm betting he's giving a dissertation and everything right now.
Yeah, I literally just sharpened my chalk and I'd gone up to the blackboard. TBD on defense still. I need to see a little bit more, especially there's more testing. There's just way too many variables on defense, and that's why those are the hardest videos to make, are how does this team do on defense, right? Because you have to set it up, and it's just not easy unless you've got a test account. And so I don't know yet, but on offense, absolutely. I think there are a lot of good theory crafting ideas out there already for how you could put them on offense. And so while most people probably still are going to want to take the safe route and use them, against things like bounty hunters or whatever, I feel pretty good that they might be a very viable counter to something like a Shock T lead clone group, and a couple, and maybe even Geos, depending on what I can get accomplished with some other characters I don't want to say yet. But I do think they're going to be more diversified on offense for sure. Not sure yet on defense. What do you guys think?
I think offense too.
Yeah.
With where they are, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm thinking of utilizing them not necessarily just for their resistance tag. What I'm hopeful for is actually a synergy with Vandor, Chewie, and L3, because they're smugglers also, and you have the synergy with the vets, where if Han dies, Chewie gets like 100% turn meter, right? And then he can go again, and then Vandor Chewie can res vet Han. I'm kind of thinking as a sequence with a resistance leader of some kind, as being kind of what we might see a little bit more on offense, because you can actually kind of control a little bit. But yeah, still a lot to be seen, and they don't even have the tags yet in games, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, that'll be real good with Rey.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really good with Rey. But you hit the nail on the head. There was a crap that we worked on a while back. It didn't end up working, but we were trying to set up an infinite loop in one of the I guess it was probably P1 of the Sith raid with the veteran smugglers and a Vandor Chewbacca constantly reviving them. They one would die and then it would give whoever the leader was turn meter. I forget the way it worked, but yeah, I definitely could see that playing a factor. I think I'm a big Vandor Chewbacca fan, as you know. So in general, I think he has a place with every smuggler on a team. But I'll be excited to see if that can be something we work on.
All right. And just as a friendly reminder, if you guys are watching this right now, make sure if you haven't hit the thumbs up, you do. Please hit that thumbs up. And we are pushing for 5,000 subs. So if you haven't hit that sub button, please do. It helps the channel out tremendously as well. All right. Next question goes to Raymond.
Okay. All right. Ramon, question to you. This is a little bit of a fun question too here, Ramon. Question from Don Carlo. Do you think CG will ever add more animals to the game, and if so, which ones would you like to see?
Oh, like a loath cat, or No, I mean, I think that there will be some things. Maybe eventually something like the A-clay is too big to be on the screen, I guess. Probably if they were going to do something like that.
I say Baby Yoda with soup. Your thoughts?
Baby Yoda is not really an animal.
Oh.
I mean, that's that. And first of all, that's racist. Okay,
no, it's not. He drinks soup. That's true. That's factual.
It's racist.
No, it's not racist.
You should be.
Not even close. That's racist if you say that I was racist for saying that he drinks soup when he drank the damn soup.
Baby Yoda's on a planet drinking soup. That does not make sense.
Baby Yoda is a civilized sentient being. Okay, there's no way that that's an animal. Baby Yoda's going to talk eventually. All right?
Will he?
We hope so. But that'll be the end of the show. The last episode, he's going to say his first word. And then that'll be the end of the show.
It's going to be Mando.
Peace out, bitches.
What should be a racist term? We're like, oh, he was racist. Damn.
Snitches get stitches.
There are.
Oh my God.
There are so many.
I'm from the west side of the galaxy.
There's so many wonderful creatures in the land of Star Wars that it's very difficult to say which one would ever make its way into the game. There's always a chance for something like that to happen, but there's not as many characters that are iconic, like the Wampa, for example, that would come to the forefront. But I'm not saying that that's out of the cards, because we do have TV shows and other media coming out, so there may be another character like that eventually comes and becomes an opportunity. But how cool would it be for them to have the force whales, the space whales, in ship battles. I mean, like as like a I mean, I guess they couldn't really do anything to attack, but it'd be cool just to see the what were they called again? Pergil.
Yeah. I mean, animals would be an interesting thing if they brought them in as characters. But yeah,
well, I mean,
to your point,
what I'm saying is there are space animals, right? Like besides the Pergil, there are other animals in space, like in Star Wars, that like attack. So it'd be cool to see like something for maybe ships that comes out into the game, like the Pergil or something like that just like is able to do something. Yeah.
If you remember, they did say that they were going to bring like vehicles into the game. They did actually confirm that last year. That was their desire, was to bring vehicles into the game. But then we went and looked at the vehicles that could come into the game, and there was not that many.
I don't even have to look at the vehicles. I look at the state of fleet and please no, fix fleet first.
They'll have 6 vehicles, and then they have to combine them with ships, and there'd be vehicles floating in space. That's how they would do it.
Listen, if we're getting vehicles in this game, I want the 5 lions from Voltron. So I mean, forget the nonsense. All right. Next question to Sir Mix-a-Lot Loki.
Okay. So Loki, question from Who the Hut, and the question is: 3PO, Asajj, and Snips are Gear 13. All others are at the recommended Gear 13 or Relic levels. Is the gas event going to be a pain in the butt? I was hoping for gas to come later this month.
I think you'd be okay. You probably have to get, I think it's Snips you need a little bit of Relic on, right? And then you need Asajj too for the last phase. I don't think you need 3PO that high.
It helps.
I'm thinking back when it took Ranger a week to get it.
Yeah, it took 15 hours straight of playing.
Oh, that's it?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's it.
That's a great stream. You should go watch that.
Yeah, my suffering was.
You will see. No, but I think you need Snips, because that's the phase 2 team. You need her to, I guess, stay alive. That's what basically you're gonna Relic Snips to stay alive, and then I think you need a little bit of Relic on Asajj for the damage, and then also survivability as well. Because toward the end, once you get the couple of the clones down and all that, then you just she starts going crazy with her AoEs and basic stun and all that. So you need her to be alive when it gets to that point.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't worry about 3PO.
Yeah, 3PO not so much. I mean, it's for phase 2. It's definitely Kenobi and Ahsoka. You need to take the hits and do the damage.
And Shock T too. I think you need Shock T alive in phase 2.
Yeah, and then phase 4, Asajj and B1 were the 2 key ones. Most people said helped a lot. So, but yeah, if you have some characters that are Gear 12 and a few that are Relics, good luck. You just got to grind through and hope you get that RNG, because that's even with, I know you had higher Relic characters when you went in there, Loki, and it still was a pain in the ass for you. You had all your
I had to remod. I had to wait for the right RNG. So you just got to be patient, like Ranger did. If it's going south, just quit it and restart the battle.
Order some pizza, grab some bourbon.
Yep.
Grab something that hit repeatedly, like a pillow or something, because you're going to be frustrated. All right, back up top to Colorado Rocky Mountain High Warrior.
Really quick too, guys. If you refresh the stream, you guys will see a link to Clash's video of testing. So the videos he did of the testing of the placement and all that. That's all now in the description. You just have to refresh the page in order to see it. Okay, let me head to the questions again. And question for you, Warrior. Question from Bailrip Papichulo. If you were to restart again, would you go to the Phoenix path again, or would you switch up?
Uh, I would probably go straight for Revan than Darth Revan. That's probably what I would do.
Nice. So you just pass Phoenix and go right for the Revens?
Yeah, I would go straight Revans. I would probably passively, work towards the other smaller stuff, such as, the Phoenix and Jedi, and Rebels and the things as such, just because those are some of the easier to get characters and some of the easier to get legendaries. You can take those characters to like Gear 8 and get those characters such as CLS and Yoda and stuff with like Gear 8 characters. So, those would definitely be characters that I would try and passively kind of unlock, get, and whatnot. But my hyper focus would be Revan, Darth Revan. So that way, you could get Malik. And then once that achievement was done, then I would move over to the Galactic Republic separatist focus and go for gas. So it would be a two-step, would be first and then second. And that's kind of where I went with my Scissorman account. But originally, a year ago when I started Scissorman, gas didn't exist. And actually, neither did Darth Revan. When I started, it was just before Darth Revan. So that was kind of an evolution. So I would definitely do Revan, Darth Revan, and then after that go for gas, and then kind of evolve from there. But if I started back up, I wouldn't start a fresh account. I would jump back in probably just to my Warrior account and play that just because of mods. Because if I was ever going to play and have any hope of having any kind of semblance of fun, I would want mods that were that gave me any kind of hope at all. I'd want to have, some mods. So I'd go back into the Warrior account because that's the only, way of having mods that would make me sort of kind of happy.
There you go. All right, round and round we go. Down to Carolina for good old Maurice and his country, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, Learned. Gong, you're the next contestant. Fan, are you on mute?
Yeah, I pressed the button. The button on my mic is actually getting kind of worn out. But okay, question to you, good old Maurice, from Solar Warden. It says, do I go for Galactic Legend Kylo, or do I relic my CLS, Han, Chewie, Triumvirate, Watt, Nest, other characters that are good? I'm currently top 3 in both arenas at 4.9 million GP.
Well, I guess how close are you? How close are you? I mean, are your first order characters like 7-star Gear 1, or are your first order characters like Gear 12 and a half? Do you have Gear 13 characters? Have you already started on Kylo? I don't. If you're going from scratch and you have nothing in terms of first order or resistance, I would just work at what you got. I mean, but if you're close with Kylo, I've been suggesting maybe get the characters to Gear 13 and just hold so you can see. Because again, if the ticket requirements come out and they're going to take several weeks to get enough tickets to get in there and get a battle in, then there's really not that big a sense of urgency. It's tough to answer anything until we know about the tickets. You want to go for Kylo, sure, but we don't have the kit. So I would definitely do. I don't know about CLS per se, but I would definitely do Han, Chewie, maybe not Traya, but definitely the Sith Empire. Some of the better characters, R2D2, General Kenobi, and Jedi Anakin. If you don't have relics on those characters, I would suggest doing them first because you're going to need them for every game mode. I think Kylo's kind of more of a long-term plan. I guess it's tough to answer that question. If you want to message me on Discord with your profile, I can probably answer that a little better. That's just I have no idea what your roster looks like.
All right.
So, yeah.
We also don't know what the kit looks like.
Well, that too. There's so many unknowns. I'm real hesitant to advise anybody to go for anything right now. It's just I don't know. There's so many unknowns.
All right.
I basically punted that one. Sorry.
No, that's actually true. We just don't know. I mean, people ask us all the time, "What do you think you should go for first, Kylo or Rey?" I was like, I have no idea. We don't.
You can tag me on Discord in the RSG Discord, or just send me a message. I can give you a better answer on what you got.
All right. Let's go to Clash of Clans for the next answer.
Okay. Next question from What Else 73 for you, Clash. And the questions is kind of a two-part question. First one, when are they actually adding the resistance tag to the Viagra twins? And would the vets be better under a resistance lead or better under a Kira scoundrel lead?
I don't know. First of all, I wish I did. I'm gonna bet if I'm gonna place my chips, it's gonna be probably next week. I don't think we're gonna get it before this Grand Arena. Unfortunately,
The correct answer is soon. TM.
Yeah, soon. TM is the correct answer. August, sure. But to your question on who would they be better with, that I mean, it hurts me to say, but I think the fact that they're gonna share synergy with another person, like not just themselves, it might be a resistance, team that you want to try. I have many awesome defensive holds with them under a Kira lead or under a Clone Wars Chewbacca lead, which Ranger has geared and zated now, I think, right?
Which one?
But no, I think they're probably going to be better under resistance for now. That's just me making a guess, though.
Well, see, I was going to do that Clash, and then this thing called Galactic Legends happened, and my plans went to shit. So that
I know, but remember whenever we talked, they said you don't need them above Gear 8.
I know, but literally taking roads and resistance pilots and just gear. I'm like, I took everything that I wanted to do, and it's on the back burner. And I'm like, all right, Galactic Legend Ray, here we go. And it's like, shit.
I'll forgive you. It's okay.
Someday I'll go back and actually work on some fun stuff like that, but not right now because that's Jesus.
I got it. I'm just teasing.
I know but it still sucks. All right. Next question for my Ramona.
Okay. So Ramon, question to you from the Sedge, and the question is, what do you think will be the new characters after the Galactic Legends event? Possibly a Mace rework, a new Ahsoka, Bad Batch. What do you think is most likely?
Okay, so after the Galactic Legends characters, like what are the next characters to come?
Yeah, what do you think is coming after them?
I would say they may go original trilogy on this, right? I mean, I'm not saying that there won't be some small characters along the way. Like, we may get some other characters from the Rise of Skywalker. We may get some characters from the Clone Wars. We may get maybe a Mandalorian character along the way, but I think the next big character is going to be Jedi Luke. That's what I think. I think that maybe they'll start to release maybe the Easter eggs for that. We'll maybe get Endor Leia and other versions of certain characters to kind of start to get the pieces that we need to collect to get Luke. And then I don't know. They may also release his X-wing too first. I don't know if that, I don't know if they would release the character first and then release the X-wing later, or if they would just give that X-wing to CLS. I'd have to see. I'd have to think about that. But I mean, I think the next big character is Luke. That's what I think.
All right. Next question to Locomotion.
Okay. Loki. Question from X-Lord Benthager, and the question is, I lose to a High Relic Grievous team with a Relic Watt Tambor in it. Do you know a good counter for that team? Because my Relic Padme, my Nightsisters, or my Bastila Jedi Knight Revan teams struggle a lot against it.
What's his GR team? Does he say what it is? Galactic probably could beat it. It's all dependent on what you got.
It's going to be the speed a lot too, right? Because you need to get Watt out quickly. Otherwise, it's just going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, everybody's got to be healthy on that team, I think. And then you got to have the Like, I mean, it's got to have like Shock T and Ahsoka in it, so you need that double dispel to get that like taunt off and stuff like that. You could try, I think there's like YouTube videos out there. You could try the Treya team. Again, I don't know what teams he's got, and I hate to steer him in the wrong direction, or I'm sorry, like, you know, I don't want you to farm a team just to beat that one squad.
He did give a
but
so he said his Padme team is a Relic 7 Padme, Anakin, Ahsoka, and GK, and a Relic 5 Shock T.
Yeah, I mean, you got the bullets there. I mean, you got the relics.
I feel like it might be mods, because you do need to speed that team up.
I feel like it's mods. I mean, we can take it offline and maybe message us on the Discord, message me in the Discord, and we can probably go through. I need to see your screenshots and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction, simply because of that. I know for me, like in GAC, I think if you look at my GAC history, I've used like I had Grandmaster Yoda in that team as well. You know, spread like the foresight and all that, so you can kind of survive a little bit. Zeta Barris is another option. I don't know where your Zaris is at, but she can help with the survivability, because you just have to survive, and then you just pick them off in you know, in the correct order and all that, and you should be good. But that's we could spend a lot of time on this, but I would just message me on the Discord with some screenshots. We can work on it. I mean, Treya works too. I don't know where your Treya is at, but I mean, Trio works. I think Trio Thrawn works or something like that. But it's all my GAC history too. So. All
right. Next question. We go back up top to Coors Light Warrior.
Okay. So Warrior. Question from the Sedge. What do you think of the speed setup with the Grievous team for turn meter gain and Newt as opposed to health? In the playbook YouTube channel, a speedy Grievous team takes 25 turns to the Jedi's 5 turns. So what do you think? Speed or health for Grievous?
Well, in that specific scenario, if you're going against countering like a Jedi, specifically like a Jedi Knight Revan team, yes, that amount of turns is going to counter it. And yes, I've had some that have chosen to opt speed over health, and yes, the amount of turns they take, the AoEs that he gets, it decimates the teams. You don't need the additional health damage or the health converted to damage, the extra turn meter, the extra times they go, it just wears the teams out and kills them. And so yes, that is an effective strategy. If that's the route you want to go, if you know those are the teams that are on your leaderboard that you're having to defend from, that's an effective defense strategy in arena or in grand arena championships if you're doing 5 versus 5, if that's what you believe someone's using to take you out. But it depends on what your mindset is. Like if you're using it for offense, defense, grand arena, why, you know what I mean? The whole why point behind it. So, I mean, I guess it just depends on the purpose, function, that kind of thing. But I had someone on my leaderboard do that exact thing, and couldn't, it's super difficult. I would take 3 refreshes, 4 refreshes sometimes a day to beat him with my Revan, because it was just RNG to survive the onslaught of turns, the amount of turns that his team would take before I would actually finally be able to go. And then I would be lucky enough to revive and then be able to cherry pick certain characters off and then be able to go again and then revive again. And I'd have to have, a couple revives in between to survive and win. So yeah, it's a smart philosophy on that.
All right.
We're going to skip ahead this one to Clash really quick.
Clash!
Because Clash is going to need to go here soon. So let's get this question to Clash. So the question to you, Clash, is from Jedi Gunny 1216. And the question is, with Vet Han being needed for Kylo, do you think CG would be bold enough to require veteran Chewie for Rey in the 4th phase with the new Poe and 3PO or R2? I find it hard to believe these characters wouldn't be required.
I do believe they are bold enough to do that, and I'm kind of hoping they do, because that would really speed up my my process to getting to Rey. So, but I don't know that they're going to have either of the droids be included. Maybe BB-8. I don't know about R2. It just seems like they're probably going to throw in a Resistance hero, Finn or Poe as well. And yeah, I do hope they bring in veteran Chewbacca into her whole thing, because that would get me much faster. I still got a long way to go on some of those other less than stellar characters like Rose and Resistance pilots. So
yeah, it'll hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hurt, Clash. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
It is.
Yeah.
But you know what? We'll make it through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it together.
All right, Clash, you want to pimp your stuff here before you have to head out?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry I couldn't stay for the whole hour here. I got to go take the little scoundrels out to do some park stuff. So thanks again for having me. If you guys want to catch me, of course, it's Clash DOE on YouTube or in the Scoundrel server. Had a good week this week with a couple of counters to General Skywalker, both Kira Lead and Stormtrooper Han. If you haven't seen those videos, check them out. They've got a little bit of traction. So.
All right. So make sure you check out his channel. Make sure you give videos a look. Make sure you give him thumbs up and all the love we can. So check that out, skewers. All right. So we move on back to where we were with Gom.
Okay. So Gom, question to you from Ziglet. And the question is, has any of the Legend, Heroes Journeys, Galactic Legends, or any other special events characters had requirements that didn't seem to make sense? I can think of one because it annoys me every single time I think about it. The friggin' Chimera.
Oh yes, okay, yeah, okay. That was a long question. I kind of got lost in the middle. Okay, it makes. Well, I guess you got that one, and then you've got. The rest of them kind of seem to make sense, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to scan through all of my head here. I guess so. I mean, even the Galactic Legends ones make sense. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think there are other areas of the game that don't make sense, like when you use your Phoenix and Rogue One squads in the Hoth Territory battle, and then other miscellaneous things throughout the game, like these ship events. Like, why am I using the First Order ships with Houndstooth and Slave One, and and Cad Bane's ship? You know, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But from a event sort of standpoint, I think for the most part they seem to kind of make sense, I guess. First Order for BB-8, that makes sense, I guess. I don't know. If anybody else knows of one off the top of their head, by all means, I can't. Chimera is the only one that really...
And Chimera was because of a bug that annoyed the crap out of me. So just to be fair, they did try to make it relevant at first, right? Where they made it Rebel ships with the Phoenix and the Ghost being needed, and then they bugged it, and then they changed it and just changed the requirements, and then they went down that lazy route of, the requirements aren't working, so we're just going to leave it. It's like, but that was I think that might have been my first real anger point with this game. I can't remember. That was really something that annoyed the crap out of me. But no, I think that's really the only one, and that was because of a bug more so than anything else. I can't think of any others that really didn't really have some kind of reasoning behind it. I don't know. I'll open it up to everyone else. Is there anything else that anyone can think of on the panel?
Nothing comes immediately to mind.
And Ziegler is saying he was just thinking of that because of the Relic 7 cup that we were talking about. We were talking that as kind of a joke.
Yeah, that was just no one
we
here...
don't actually think cup is going to be needed as a requirement.
No.
If anything, he would have been needed for like a Galactic Republic requirement for like Padme or something like that.
Something silly.
But yeah, not
all I meant by that is it like, that they would just straight up throw a middle finger at you and just like be like, this is what you need to get.
Yeah. Get Ugnaught in there, you're just like, really? Okay.
I mean,
That's for the Mandalorian stuff.
There would be no other way to interpret that other than just straight up, guys, bang. Just do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
All right. Next question, we go to aforementioned Remon.
Okay. Remon, question to you is from What Else 73, and the question is, for the beginning characters, do you think they would or should give them another stat buff, not a rework, because of the power going ludicrous with the relics?
So do you mean like, are we talking about like the original characters in the game?
Yeah, like making them more powerful at the lower levels so that they're not quite as behind if you're facing somebody with relics type of thing.
That really wouldn't change much. I mean, as much as that I get that, and that makes a little sense, because their abilities are lacking is really the main problem, right? Because at the end of the day, as much of a stat boost as you give maybe somebody like even somebody who used to be really more relevant. I mean, forget about people like Eth Koth or whatever. I'm saying I'm talking about people more relevant like Qui-Gon Jinn. Even if you gave him a little bit more of a stat boost, his kit is so dated now at this point that it really just couldn't compete with some of these teams. I mean, you could probably get away with Qui-Gon Jinn. Maybe that's a bad example, but I'm just saying, like, there are some characters from the original release of the game that are just their kits are so simple. They're like one-line attacks, and if you look at the way the game has progressed over the years, there's just every time a new character comes out, like every ability they have is just a wall of text. There's so much that's built into it that it's like, just to go back and read some of those original kits, it's almost a joke to see like inflicts, like damage over time, like, it's like, like Sidious is basic, but yeah, so I mean, that would be really, I think, the problem. I don't think the stats would make a huge difference. I think they would need to upgrade the ability sets. That's the only way these characters would be able to counter any of the more modern characters.
All right. Next question to Loco, the Loki Mobile.
All right, Loki.
Yep.
Question to you from Cole, and the question is, for gas, what relic levels would you recommend? I have Asajj Ventress at relic 4 and B1 at relic 5, and the rest are gear 12 plus.
I like the 4 and 5 you have. You're probably gonna need relics on I'm gonna say Magna Guard for sure, so you can take the hits a bit. Did you have a relic droidica?
No, it was not mentioned.
Ranger.
Did I? No.
I had a gear 12 one, but I mean I put some crazy stupid offense mods on it.
Well, you didn't have it Zeta either when you first tried it.
I had to put the Zeta. Yeah, it was. I mean, for me, it was just easier. You get that one little bit of an assist with the Zeta. I would say the only relics you're probably missing, I'm gonna say it's Magna Guard right now. Probably need to get him to like I don't know, relic 2 or 3 or something like that, because that droid needs to take a bunch of hits. B2 could use relics. I would try Magna Guard first, but B2 is also equally important because you need that droid to stay alive because it gives turn meter to the rest of the droids on your team, and you want B1 to go constantly. But I like you did the Asajj Ventress and B1.
That's going to be a big difference.
So those are good levels right there, yeah. So I'd probably just say Magna Guard probably and get them to like R2 or R3 so the tank can take the hits.
Speaking of taking the hits, Nev just showed up. Nev,
sorry guys.
Yeah, you
Hi, Nev.
Hello, Governor.
Try to ask people to be on time, and they decide that coffee is more important. And look, he's sipping.
Coffee is more important than anything in the
Look,
world.
Nev is sipping soup like Yoda, the child. There you go, drinking that good soup. All right,
Nuggies.
Yes, so we'll start with Nev and then keep going, working our way around.
Okay. And for you guys in the chat, make sure you put in questions. You know what's weird? We've answered so many questions today, and we still have like an hour left.
Well, yeah, we've done a lot of questions already.
We've answered more questions than we normally do, and yeah, so we're running lower on questions. So if you guys have questions, now is a good time to get them in.
Yep. All right, let's give one to...
And by the way, I've seen it a couple of times, by the way. I'm not going in the questions directly in order all the time, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's people requesting questions to specific people, and I knew Clash was leaving, so I'm trying to get questions to all of the people as we're going through the sequence. So
That's right.
Don't worry. Your question will hopefully not be skipped. If I didn't ask your question by like 11:30 Eastern, so like in 20 minutes, then just feel free to tag me and see if I missed your question or not. But as long as you had a question in there, I picked up all of them. So they're just not necessarily going in order.
Yeah, but we'll get to them. Don't you worry. All right, let's give one to Nevinator.
Okay. So Revenator, question from Hellenix.
No, Nevinator, not Revinator.
Oh.
The
Oh yeah, it's not an Eternal Twins question.
No. Nor would I allow that question to be asked on the Jedi Academy.
Okay, so Nocturnal Twins question to you, and the question is from Hellenix. And the question is it better to work on what you enjoy playing with, or is it better to chase the CG's latest cash grab? I've recently switched to doing what I want, and I'm having a lot more fun.
Yeah, you should definitely go for what you want. I would say there used to be a happy medium there, so you could kind of like go for what you wanted, but also like when Jedi Knight Revan was the thing, you could go for Jedi Knight Revan characters and still farm for what you wanted, or you could go for Darth Revan and still go for what you wanted, or you could go for the for C-3PO and still go for what you wanted. But with the GL, you've got to go all in on that or nothing, which means you can't, farm for what you love, what you want. So, the way it goes now is just go for what you want, because you're going to have a lot more fun with it than having to, deal with characters that you farmed for GL that you might not know, might not want to use. So yeah, I would go with what you want now, definitely more than ever.
All right.
I mildly disagree a little.
What about going for what you want?
Mm-hmm.
I always talk with people that disagree with me. My co-host is Paul, for goodness sake. Did you not hear us arguing last night? I mean, oh God.
That's true. No, but it's not that
45 minutes of just constant arguing with each other.
It's not that what you said is incorrect, right? And I go the same
opinion,
route.
So.
But it depends on what you want too, right? There's two facets to this game, which makes this game actually kind of fascinating compared to a lot of them. That it isn't just PvE and it's not just PvP. It's kind of a collection of both. And if you're going just the route of PvE, you can go at your own pace, right? You get to characters when you want, and you kind of coincide with your guild, and you make sure you have a guild that match, and you kind of move at the same pace. If you're doing PvP and your whole thing is being competitive, you pretty much always have to chase the latest thing. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind, and what you like in this game doing is not going to be available to you. So if we're looking at the Galactic Legend Rey and Kylo, for example, right, as being the new meta, which it kind of seems like there is based on even how CG has said it, which is these are going to be some of the most powerful characters, and they're affecting your mastery, which basically just changes your stats to huge amounts. You have to go after them. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind in Arena. And is that something that you could enjoy your gameplay without being at the top of Arena? If the answer is no, then you're kind of in always the position of I have to chase the latest meta because my focus is always being super competitive. So it does depend on what your focus on the game is largely, whether it is kind of the PvE having fun aspect or whether it's the highly competitive PvP aspect. And it just depends on your play style, at least the way I see it.
It depends if you're going for squad arena or if you're going for like territory battles. When territory battles first came out, it was all about going for separatists, and it was fun. I was having a lot of fun watching my squad get more powerful and more powerful. It's like, I'm two pieces, two guys away from being able to do the Wat Tambor, or I'm one away, or I'm, so that was a fun element watching it, gearing it up and getting it better. So yeah, it does depend on the whether you're going PvP or PvE. Yeah.
Go ahead, Warrior.
I was just gonna say I admire, and I genuinely mean this. I admire people who can open the game, play randomly throughout the day, not look at when arena goes, and then just shut it down and then just randomly open it up the next day and go, oh, look at that, my arena crystals of 100 or 50 or 25. That's cool. Thanks. That's free. No big deal. Whatever. And not worry about a climb and not worry about whatever. And it's free to play and I don't care. And la la la, you know, I admire that. I genuinely admire the people who don't give two craps about climbing every day, who don't care about the competitive nature of that. Like, I admire that because I can't. That's not in my DNA. I physically can't play this game without that. And so I admire that in people because those people, I think, can enjoy this game on that free to play level because they can literally open the game, they can collect what they want, they can play, they can have fun, and these characters can come out and they can actually genuinely say, who cares? I can't say who cares because for me, Arena was fun. And when a character like this comes out, I have to have that character because I have to stay relevant. And to stay relevant, you have to have the character. And if you have to have the character, you have to have crystals. Well, you either have to buy the crystals or you have to earn the crystals. If to earn the crystals, you have to continue to get number one. Well, that means arena climbs every single day. You have to. So then you have to invest the time every single day. And so it becomes an arduous task. It's like it becomes a chore. So, you know, like I said, I appreciate those people who can just, like, I really wish that I could just play and be like, oh yeah, I skipped 3 days. Who cares? You know, or I, you know, like, oh yeah, I don't care about crystal income, but you know, you have to have that. And so for those people who can really just have that just lighthearted, who care mentality, like I genuinely I look at that with like awe, like it's amazing. But for me, it's just like looking at that, I totally agree with Finity. Like how does one do that? For me, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that. I just don't know how one does that. But I know there are those people out there like that.
All right. Let's go to the next question, Finn. We're back up top where it all began with Warrior.
Okay. So Warrior, here's kind of a fun question for you. Question from Nightmare. He says, I was sniped at my payout last night by a whale with over 6 million GP. So I hit him back, took a screenshot of my win to say to his guild leader saying, free to play Nightmare sends his regards. How would you handle this better?
I don't know. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I think it's very appropriate.
Didn't you have, I know you've said it before, but I figured I'll just ask you if you want to just quickly run through it. Isn't that similar to what you did with TI, where they wouldn't let you in initially, so you just kept on sniping their people?
No, I didn't have any team instinct in any of my things at all. I didn't have to compete with team instinct at all, ever.
Oh, what was? I thought you told the story about how you initially got into TI.
My story for TI, when guilds first started forming, Team Instinct, there was a bunch of level, because 80 was the highest level. There was a bunch of level 80 people, and I was just starting the game, and I was level 72, and I was looking at guilds, found Team Instinct, they were number one, so I applied, and they said, well, you're level 72. I said, so? And they said, well, we only accept level 80 people. And I said, well, I'm going to be level 80 very soon. And so you can either accept me now and I can grow with you and learn with you and all of that, or you cannot. But if you don't accept me, you can either, play with me or play against me. But eventually I'm going to be level 80 and I'm going to spend thousands on this game. And, I will be, on your team or against you. And trust me, you're not, I'm going to be one of the big spenders in the game. It's one of those things you don't want to be against me. So, and they were like, okay, arrogant. So, all right, join us. That's kind of how it went. They were like, hey, he's cut from the same cloth. So that's how the conversation went privately. It was just like, I basically just told him, like, you can either, have me join you and we can be a part of the same team, or I'm going to be against you, and that's just how it's going to be. But I'm going to be a big spender. And they were just like, oh yeah, okay, well, we want you then because you're a big spender. That's, I was just honest with what I was going to be doing in the game. And so I was the very first person they ever let in under level 80. I was level 72 when I joined them. But I wasn't trying to be arrogant. Which it was an arrogant statement, but I wasn't trying to be arrogant. I was just trying to be honest with them that if they didn't let me in, I was just going to go somewhere else. And then they were going to impact.
You should have joined Team Skunk. You made a mistake.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
There's no maybe about that.
I have to say, I enjoyed for a very long time. Well over 3 years, their company. It was a fun ride. I enjoyed that team for a very, very long time. It wasn't until the last merger that I fell out of graces with the new leadership.
No, you made the right call, man. Yeah, that was a good place to be. I'm just joking with you. I just wish you were on my team. I just wish you were in Alpha. That's all. It would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been fun too. I enjoyed that. It was good times.
All right. Next question back to Gom.
Okay. So good old Maurice, question from Solar Warden. And the question is, I need 6 months at least to gear my first order for Galactic Legend Kylo. The second part of the question that I asked you earlier, how would you mod Padme against a gas team that is all Relic 7?
Well, I think the best way, I don't personally run this counter, so if one of you guys do run this counter, please just interrupt me and take over. But the best way I think that I've seen on my chart, I've seen a lot of people advocate for is Padme, JK, or Padme, Anakin, GK, and then you're going to use, I believe it's Grandmaster Yoda and 3PO. I think is the team that people are using for arena climbs. That's going to destroy your roster for like a grand arena setting, but that's the team people are using. I'll actually pull it up now. Grandmaster Yoda looks to go real fast, so I guess he's just going to spread the buffs first. Padme is fast. I think this is a team that you might want the faster Padme. Again, correct me, guys, or interrupt me, please, if I'm wrong. But the 3PO, you basically just want to burn down Anakin as quickly as possible, and then you want to have all your protections ready, all your protection up, all your courage ready, so you can, and your assist. You got GK's assist, you got 3PO's assist, and you just mow down 5s as quickly as possible. I personally always like to go for Rex. Other people like to go for like Echo next. It's a tough team. I've run Padme as a counter. I don't use that specific team. I use both the droids, R2-D2 and 3PO, with the GK, with the Padme, with the Anakin. But that one, I would give that maybe a 65% success rate. I wish I ran this team so I give you a better answer. Does anybody run this at all on the panel?
No.
There are several people in my arena that run Padme, and I actually avoid them on my climb because it's just much easier to fight Anakin, like fight a mirror team, than it is these Padme teams.
Right.
So yeah, because you have to have 3PO on that team, just because Grandmaster Yoda gets so many buffs that's going to really get your protection up rolling. So I don't think it's very feasible for other game modes, but for arena, Grandmaster Yoda is the man. You don't even really, you need him gear 13 and maybe a little bit relic, but he doesn't have that big of a health pool to really. You're not looking for damage from him, whereas on some of the other teams, like you're looking for health pool. So I've actually seen the guys in my arena. It's like health circle, health cross, maybe a crit damage triangle. It's just all health, just to get some survivability and outlast those Anakin hits.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point. We don't have it's just Ian on, who's basically like the Padme master. But
he would know.
But he said it on the I don't know if it was the last Jedi Academy or the one before. But the slow Padme is really just for Darth Revan counters, right? Everyone else is a fast Padme. And so I think a lot of times we've seen it sometimes too in like the roster reviews and other things, where if your Padme is modded slow in order to get the timing correct for countering Darth Revan, it's actually going to be weaker against a lot of the other teams. So you have to know how you're modding it and what the purpose is. If you are going against gas, then it's going to be all about speed mods and trying to get the team faster and making sure your Ahsoka is hitting harder and your Anakin's hitting harder, and it's going to be like a whole chain of events there.
It's going to vary too. It's difficult to do because like it's a timing team. Like you want to get everything set up for when gas goes down, and everybody's gas is different. And I think now we're going to be seeing a lot more fast Skywalkers to kind of make them Han Solo proof, right? Because that we talked about that counter that's going around, the boss counter. I think Ian, you just mentioned Ian did a video with Cubs on the boss. Clash was on earlier. He did a great video with Stormtrooper Han Lead. But those teams, they're great counters for gas unless your Han Solo is faster than Skywalker. And I think we're going to see kind of a flip. I think people are running like a slower gas now because you don't really need them fast, but to make them more to make the better defense for Grand Arena TW, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of 300 plus Skywalkers now. That's going to be a real pain. So we're going to have to come up with a new counter next week. so we'll see.
All right. Next question we go to Rayman.
Okay. Riemann, question to you is, well, I'll give you this question because I know you brought it up earlier. The question is from Asuka Meow, and the question is, peeps are speculating that 3PO and R2 may be needed for Galactic Legend Rey, but they need a total unrelated faction to be obtained. Would CG really do that?
Yeah, they would do that. Absolutely. Of course they would do that. I mean, that's what a. I mean, that's no question. I mean, but listen, I mean, speculation is, I guess, like futile at this point, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, they just made veteran smuggler Han, a requirement for Kylo Ren. So at the end of the day, that there's no way for us to know 100%, what direction to go. In the past, it was always like pretty much 100%. Like, with characters coming out, you were able to pretty much map out what you needed to get prepared for a new character. With this, I mean, I kind of feel like some of them were pretty easy to tell. I mean, you knew they were going to require like Haldo and Tico and some of these, more obscure characters. But I mean, I'd say for the characters that are going to be like kind of like out of faction, it would be, I mean, but 3PO and R2, if they were going to choose two characters that are out of faction, would make sense. So, I mean, those are characters that are legendary characters. And I mean, if you have them or you're close to having them, I mean, then obviously those are characters that you should go for regardless, because they're just great characters, so.
All right.
I just wanted to add one more thing. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but there is it looks like there was like a leaked page from the Rise of Skywalker novelization that's coming out later this month, and it looks like they're confirming that Palpatine was actually a clone in the Rise of Skywalker, and they like when Kylo, there's like a description of like when Kylo goes into that den and he sees like the clone Snokes, and they basically say like that Palpatine had like all these vials like attached to his body, and that his body was too weak to hold like his essence, basically the clone body that he was in was like a bad vessel, and that it basically, so I'm saying, like, for anybody who's been wondering this for a couple months now, Palpatine's a clone. It's out there.
All right, there it is, just like in the old books. All right, Loki, we go to you next.
Okay. Question to you, Loki, is from Nathan H. And the question is, which relics would you recommend on the Nightsisters and Seth?
The Nightsisters and who?
The Sith.
Oh, the factions.
Yeah.
So Nightsisters, I like. I think the only one you really like, if you want to Relic 7 somebody, probably Daka would be the one. But I would say like R3, R4 on probably the rest of them. My zombie is actually still gear 12, so that's super low priority, at least for me. And I can still get holds in GAC, and the team works really well on offense. But the high relic Daka with a lot of health seems to be a pain in GAC and probably in territory wars as well. And plus she's the reviver, so if any of your Nightsisters go down, then she'll be tanky and healthy enough to survive the battle a couple more turns and then revive your whole team. The Sith, so I'm guessing Sith meaning the trio,
Sure.
or EP.
We'll go trio and Darth Revan. We'll talk about both.
Oh, you want to go Revan? Okay. So Revan, in my opinion, so Darth Revan, I think the one that really needs to be probably R6 or R7, really high relic, is probably HK, simply because you put a lot of offense on him. That grenade the grenade will either wipe out the other team in one shot or come really close to it. So don't be afraid to high relic HK-47 and put a lot of damage on them offense. And then the rest of the team, I would say like R4, R5 on Darth Revan, Fallen Bastila, Malik, and whoever your fifth is, if you're going to run Marauder or Trooper. Probably leaning to Trooper, so you have a double tank. But I think the important thing is HK, so he gets that big grenade hit off and seriously cripples the other team. If you go trio, I'd probably say like R3, R4. If you have to go on a high relic, probably Scion, maybe like R5, R6, but mainly keep them alive. If you're facing like they counter a lot of teams, but like Geos or something, right? So if you're facing like an R7 Geo team, because they're out there now, you need that whole team to survive, to be able to survive turns, so the Geo team pretty much kills themselves with Trey as lead. And then we talked about GG and Wat Tambor. I like using trio with Thrawn and probably Sith Trooper. So you can get Nihilis's Annihilate off, and they have to be tanky to survive all the hits from the droids. So
all right,
yeah,
very nice. Make sure you guys that are watching, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, if you like the content and everything. So pushing for 5K subs. So if you want to hit that sub button and give us a like on the video, that would be most appreciated. All right, we move on to Neville. So Finn, if you have a question for old Neville there.
Sure. So Nev, question from What Else 73. Do you think with gas coming back so early that they're doing it for a particular purpose, like draining hoarders, or are they doing it to make events just come faster now?
I think they're just doing it to make the event come. I think they're bringing it back, so the more times they bring it out, it gives them a valid reason to put it in the journey guide. So I think that they're just kind of they've increased the cadence of the events not in the journey guide so that they can put them in the journey guide, because they initially said that events would go into the journey guide a year after they first come out, but then they completely and utterly changed their mind on that regarding Darth Revan, because Darth Revan hadn't been out for a year, but they put them in the journey guide. So I think gas will be trimmed. I think soon after this one, they'll put them in the journey guide saying, oh, well, we've done it X amount of times. I don't think it's to drain hoarders or anything like that. I think that, it's just time to bring it back. A lot of people that didn't get gas the last one were were roundabout ready. They'd had enough time to get ready. So I don't think there's anything too much into it. I just think that they brought it back because it was time to bring it back.
All right.
Do you think maybe, because I was kind of thinking of this too, do you think that maybe this event was the original first scheduled release of the return of gas? And then around Christmas time, they were like, oh, let's give them gas again as a Christmas present, and then didn't realize how bad of an idea that would be for everyone that paid for him. Do you think this may have been the original scheduled one, and it just kind of stayed on schedule, so we're getting every couple months now?
Yeah, that would make sense. Just keeping it in, keeping it with keeping with the old cadence format for events not yet in the journey guide. So that would make sense. Yeah, that would make it would just justify it even more.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, back up top we go to Warrior.
Okay. So Warrior, question to you from Bale Rip Papichulo. Question is, what is the best bounty hunter lead for taking down Nightsister teams, Bosk or Jango?
Oh, I big time prefer personally Jango Fett and Jango Fett Boba Fett. There is something to be said about having the regenerative protection, I suppose. But I guess I prefer the additional speed and stuff. You are a little bit more frail, so you kind of have to be particular in your modding. But I prefer personally the Jango lead You can target whoever you want, and as long as you can got to take in the right team, though. I prefer having everybody that's on your team do AoEs, so you can get to that payout quick, because then everybody can target anyone, and that's really important, because then you can make sure that you're cherry picking who you want to kill off. It doesn't really matter at that point, which is why it's also important that you have Jango and Boba killing immediately who you need to kill, and so they won't revive as well, especially with Boba Fett and Jango Fett. That's nice, because Nightsisters die and they never revive. So they're not scary when you have the bounty hunters, because when they die, they go away for life. And so you just have to, like I said, figure out who you want to kill and kill them. So I like Dengar. He's got AoEs. I like the Jango and Boba. And then Bosk is a tank, just simply to have somebody there to kind of absorb, taunt, and then probably my favorite is then Zam Wessel, just because she's got bombs to toss, and to try to get you to pay out quicker.
All right. Next question to GOM.
All right. So, Gom, question from Elliot Worsfold. Who do you think the best leader for Ki-Adi-Mundi will be? Personally, I think it might be Bastila, even though she's not Galactic Republic.
I think Bastila's interesting. I am unsure, man. I'm so far away from camp.
Yeah.
I'm a Gundy is the one random Galactic Republic character I'm personally leveling. I think he could be interesting. I think Luminaro could potentially be interesting, because it's going to have to be some of these Jedi that aren't really, you're going to need some of these trash Jedi. I don't think Eve Koth is any good. I don't think Jedi Knight Guardian's any good. I think I'm a Gundy and Luminaro have interesting options leadership-wise for that team. It's actually been so long since I've even looked at Cam's kit, but it's Cam itself. It's the unique that shines, right? He's not even, so you can use a multitude of leaders. I do think Bastila's interesting. Bastila's an interesting option if you can afford to pull him off or pull her off of your Jedi Knight Revan team. I think that's a very good option. I don't know I don't know. I was kind of unprepared for this question. Yeah.
We're a long way off from Cam.
Yeah, I don't think I can BS my way out of this one, guys.
Yeah, we're a long way away. Yeah,
yeah.
And the
we have an unlock now because of the whole double.
Yeah, we're
double
on my
cam.
double.
Yeah. So that's a whole separate issue, but there is that going on. So they did have the unlock of Cam in some places. So
every time we get one of these characters, somebody unlocks it through whether it be like shady means or like oopsies. Like every time we get a new character, somebody gets them on accident.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
I just blame Finn and move on. It's a very simple philosophy in life. It's like,
oh
my god, I broke my ankle, stupid Finn.
How's that possible though? That's found out and then they don't reverse that. How's that possible? They just leave that like that. That's not okay.
You remember,
especially this long now.
Was it Han Solo? They did a huge forum celebration for the first person to unlock Han Solo, and it was obtained through shady means.
They hopped from guild to guild to guild to guild to guild so that they could get all of the so they could get the shards. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
Good times. Good times.
Let's go to.
Well, we're on fun questions now.
Oh, we
have a lot of fun questions.
Oh, we have a lot of fun questions. Well, let's start doing the fun questions then. I had no idea. You didn't tell me, Finn. You suck.
Well, I have all the questions.
Shut up,
Finn.
Finn.
All the questions are done. Okay. First question from Utah is, when streaming, I'm going to start with good old Maurice on this one. You'll know why when I say the question. When streaming, pants or no pants?
Sometimes there was that one stream where I lost a bet and I had to go pantless, and no one even knew. I did it just so I wouldn't welch on the bet, but I accidentally was adjusting my camera.
Yep.
And knocked it off my stand, and it gave a nice shot of my thunder thighs. But for the most part, I'm usually wearing at least boxer shorts.
Because he's free
much like the ESPN analysts and the TNT guys. You know, sometimes I wear I might be wearing a collared shirt, but I got on sweatpants, underwear, something. I'm not wearing like jeans. We stream so late. I usually go to bed immediately afterwards. So
you should definitely be streaming stock in the nude. Like just go full out, man.
I can't because I adjust my camera like that one time. I adjust stuff. I accidentally forget, stand up and just
It's my junk on the screen.
Yeah, sometimes
my junk on the screen.
Warrior's butt naked right now. That's why he doesn't
he's not.
Yeah, we want to make sure there's no confusion. Our stream is not for children for YouTube.
Yes,
so
that's correct.
We don't want there to be any question.
Mommy, I saw a white flappery lightsaber today. What?
For those of you that make videos and play on YouTube, you know now there's like an additional question where it's like, is this intended for children? No. Here's my penis. Yes. So,
I'm going to an 80s party
Always
later
pants.
tonight. So I shaved off my beard and I'm teasing my hair up. I'm going to an 80s party, so I'm definitely not in the nude.
Yeah, he's got look at that porn stash. Look at that.
You got the stash. Yeah.
What a handsome dude.
All right, let's not get crazy with the compliments.
What a handsome dude.
Let's not get crazy.
I need to see your driver's license and registration.
I tell you what, right there, that's a good looking man right there. It's looking crazy.
Crazy eyes.
Jesus. All right, next fun question. Ben.
All right. Next fun question is for Warrior from Bjorn Rodiger. And the question is, how did it feel to play Sure Shots Arena the other day? Did you get the itch to come back?
If I said it wasn't fun, of course I enjoyed the game. That was fun. I out of nowhere haven't played for a few months. Grabbed the emulator and played and sure butt with his team, and his team isn't optimized. Because it's Sure Shot's a great guy, but he doesn't exactly do his mods perfectly or anything like that. He plays casually, so let's just say that.
Yeah.
And I was able to take his team against a team in Arena and just smoke it very casually. So that was fun. And then go into his ships shard, and he's like using a terrible team in ships, and totally switch his team up in ships and just play casually and smoke another team. So it was fun to be able to play two different teams and he was like, "Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to beat that." And I play and smoke it. And I go over to another arena battle and do that one and smoke it. And he's like, oh, well, that's interesting. So it was just fun to, get in there and play a regular battle and a ship's battle. And somebody jokingly said, "This is the first ship's content we've seen in 2 months on YouTube." It was me playing it just well, which was funny. But anyway, no, of course, I would be lying if I said it wasn't fun. I enjoy the game. Like I said, it would be nice. I think in 6 months when they introduce, a little bit more, maybe, just maybe, I don't know. But I have a sad feeling that maybe in 6 months the game will be exactly where it's at right now. So we'll see. I'll keep my eye out.
All right. Next fun question.
Damn it, EXO. You didn't hear it, Ranger, because we don't have yours set up with everything on Stream
It came
Elements.
through earlier. He did the...
but he donated through our tip site instead this time and spazzed me the hell out. Okay. Thank you, EXO. Okay. Next question is Jason Krulik for Remon. Can we set a date to get your roster remodded by Ranger?
Well, that's a personal question. Okay. And
the pants question, was it?
That's very personal. Okay.
This has gone too far. You line stepped right there.
Habitually, he's an habitual line stepper.
I'd appreciate if you stay out of my personal affairs. Okay, all right.
But if you want to see them, you can join the live stream every Sunday, and you can see all you need to know. We will do that. So it's just a matter of time, and it's also a matter of money. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Ranger services are not free, and they shouldn't be. He deserves for sitting there and doing that. He needs to. And on top of that, it also needs to be recorded, right, or
or streamed. I don't know exactly how we do that. And
We did
how long would it take to do entirely? Like if we did the whole roster?
It'd be about 4 to 5 hours.
X100.
So that'd be a long stream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it would have to be like almost like a marathon, you know, and we'd need to have like coffee breaks, and we need to like, you know.
You would. I sit there like a machine and just start attacking.
Coffee breaks. We need to have mental breaks, you know what I mean? Yeah. But you know, we'd have some ups, some downs, some highs, some lows, you know, we'd have some laughs, we'd cry a little bit. Yeah. It'd be great.
There'd be a lot of yelling and screaming at me.
Ranger does his coffee intravenously for those long
That's true. Yeah. Good old coffee enemas.
All right.
Yeah, but definitely going to do that for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Next question is for you, Ranger, from Bad Rongo, and the question is: since the Viagra twins got the Resistance tag, how long before Ranger answers questions about the Eternal Twins?
Next question.
Next question is for you from the Sedge. He says, when does your lore video come out?
Yeah, I tried to record it the other day. I was not happy with it, so I'm redoing it again. So I'm going to try to get it done this weekend. Okay. As soon as I can. It's, you know, it's getting the material together and then recording it, and you go back and listen to it. You're like, yeah, that sucked. Let me try it again. So I did not like it at all. It didn't sound right, and I just didn't. So, yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay. Next question also to you, Ranger, from B-Rip Papichulo. Says, will Ranger ever forgive Ouchie?
None unless she asks. She's going to have to ask for forgiveness, and she hasn't. She's jumped on the ET bandwagon and really hurt our relationship. You know, I thought she was with me, you know, with all the times and things that we've shared, and for her to betray me so much, so easily, it hurt. It hurt more than anything.
And then question to you, Ranger, from Asuka Meow.
Uh-oh.
And the question is, could we ever get characters or content from the era of the Eternal Twins?
That one specifically, well, I mean, seriously, though, from the Eternal Throne, there are a lot of badass characters and factions that they could actually create for this game from that era. I mean, you can have a faction with Emperor Valkorion, the two twins, their sister, and throw in the mom, and then you've got yourself a pretty badass factions with some of the most powerful characters that have ever existed. And then on the other side, you could go the other route. You could have like a thing of Darth Mar and Darth Malgus. You can have like a generic version of the Outlander in there. There's a lot of ways they can go from that specific time in the Old Republic. So it'd be kind of cool. I mean, we got some characters generic from that area, and then some like Traya, Nihilus, you know, Scion. But if they were to go, you know, to the era of the Old Republic game, more than just the Sith Trooper and the Sith Assassin and Sith Marauder, then yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
What do you think is more likely to come into the game, Vitiate or Valkorion? If either of them.
I don't think either of them, man. Honestly, I don't think they're doing any of that stuff for a while. You know, so I mean, I'd love to get some of these really badass characters on both sides from different eras, whether it's the Darth Bane era. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that they can pull from. You know, hell, why don't we get the original twins? Why don't we get Jason and Jaina Solo in the game? I mean, that would be awesome. I got the figure behind me, and you know, sitting there, Black Series figure Jaina Solo. So I mean,
there's a good chance with this High Republic announcement the other day that Darth Bane may actually make his way into the novelizations. You know, coming up at the end of this year.
They could redo it, yeah.
And then Darth Bane would be canon. Yeah, I mean, he is
I'd
canon.
love to see it.
I'd
love to see him and Darth Zana. You know, I would love to see those two in the game. I mean, just those two alone with the Sith tag would be fantastic. You know, synergy, that would be fantastic. So, all right.
Okay. Next question for Riemann from What Else 73, and the question is: why does Riemann consider drinking soup racist? What does he have against soup?
Yeah, what do you got against soup?
I mean, I don't have anything. I don't think drinking soup is racist, but I think assuming that Baby Yoda is some sort of an animal, you know, is not nice.
Well, I could have called it a vegetable or mineral. I didn't do that, so
you see what you missed, Nev, by not joining.
Yeah,
Riemann with his racist Baby Yoda soup accusations.
What I'm saying is Baby Yoda. Listen, at some point is going to become a little talking being, right? So I mean, to just insinuate that this is an animal just because he doesn't have the complexion that you have, Ranger, is pretty racist.
No, it's all about the soup.
Okay.
I will say pho is very good for hangovers.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we going to say? That Eth Koth is an animal, or
It was so random. Good Maurice.
Just
randomly throw in pho is good for hangovers.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Where do we draw the line?
He's trying to throw Reman a bone. Who's looking like a complete and total jackass right now.
Where do we draw a line? Is Kid Fisto an animal too?
Sure. Whatever makes your brain work there, Reman.
Every week on Ramon's show, there's always some uncomfortable
discussion
that happens, and I always try to switch topics.
Try to break it
up, and I fail every time.
Yeah, it's just.
But you gotta be more direct about your attempt. I don't even know you're trying to do that.
He randomly inserted a comment about pho, Reman. I don't know how much.
I don't know where he can.
I don't know what else he can do.
Listen, do you know how oblivious I am as a human being? Okay, you have to be more direct than that.
Well, we're pretty aware of it now with the whole soup thing. Yeah,
there was a very questionable, uncomfortable conversation about Empress Nest last week and the week before. And I failed 3 or 4 times trying to move on.
That was the conversation I heard going to bed. I was like, holy hell.
That was a great talk about Empress Nest.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Please, God. Next.
Jason Krulek, question for Reman. Can we start calling Reman Stick Reman?
Yes, you can. As a matter of fact, I would prefer it, if you called me Stick Reman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
there was one video Ramon did where he was like doing push-ups in his front yard and then like jacked up. Like, I would love to see one of his next videos include him twirling a stick and
hit himself in the head, breaking stuff in his living room.
He needs one of those sticks with like the ribbons and doing like a floor dance.
Yeah. Oh God.
To some like 80s montage music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be awesome. God. Okay. Next question from good old Maurice. Does anyone on the panel have a dating profile they'd like to share publicly? No.
Finn does, but he wasn't share publicly.
Yeah, that's why the answer is no. Dr. Feelgood, for everyone, what's on the menu for dinner tonight?
Pho.
I think we're having vegetable soup here at Mikasa.
I don't have dinner planned yet. Nev, what's your?
I think I'm doing a beef stew for the fam.
There you go.
Okay, Ramon.
Soup.
Soup. Soup. Yeah, for sure.
You got soup. Okay. Warrior. Oh my God.
Warrior's like, I don't want to answer that crap.
My dinner ain't none of your business. Okay, Loki, what about you?
I want ramen.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Next question is from Jedi Jelly. What's your favorite team to use to climb arena? We'll do it in kind of 2 sets. Now and at any point you've played the game. So, girl Maurice, what's your favorite team right now to climb an arena? And ever in Galaxy of Heroes, what's been your favorite team to use to climb?
I'm having a lot of fun with these like CLS gas counters right now. Whether it be CLS, whether it be Bosk Lead, whether it basically just putting all these random pieces together like Bosk and Stormtrooper Han, Vandor, Han, Chewie. Well, they all include Han and Chewie basically, and Watt. That's a lot of fun. Ever, I will have to say it'd be probably my 88 lead team from like 4 years ago. That was my favorite team with the bugs because I purchased Geonosian Spy from an Herodian pack. And I just refused to accept that he was no good. I just went out of my way to make him usable in arena and wake up every day in the 80s and climb all the way up to first place with Poe and 88 in the bug. So that was fun.
Girl Maurice, I don't know if you've tried it yet, but in like the dark side battles where you can call in a ally for another lead, try putting 88 with the Geos team and just watch the dot stack. It is one of the most fun things to see. It's really simple, right? But you bring in an 88 ally, so you're getting all the dots, and then you have the geos just constantly going and going and going. The dots just start to spread everywhere. It's ridiculous.
If anybody's on my ally list, please put in IG88 as your leader. Thank you.
All right.
Nev, I know you're coming at it from a different angle too with the newer account. So, what's your favorite team to use to climb an arena? And
it's got to be Jedi Knight Revan, because from a new account point of view, it takes much investment, time-wise and resource-wise. So when you finally got that Jedi Knight Revan squad, it's like, yay! I get to have fun with something that I've spent 4 months investing in, because fastest I picked it up is just shy of 4 months. So it feels good to use something that's taken 4 months to invest, 4 months of your time and resources to invest.
That's what she said.
It's got to be. It's got to be. That's what she said. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else
Not
with any
really,
thoughts?
no.
Riemann?
Skip me.
I mean, my favorite team ever was that Jawa engineer droid team back in the day. That was good times.
I'm actually, as weird as this is, I'm probably actually going to say a team with Stick Ray, Riemann. Good old Qui-Gon, Geo Soldier, Stick Ray, and Royal Guard, and I'm trying to remember who the other one on the team was. It might have been Yoda.
Sunfac.
I didn't have Sunfac. Sunfac was behind the paywall for me.
Yeah, Sunfac was the paywall, and he was why I was in number one slot for 6 months. I gotta go, you guys. You guys have a wonderful day.
Bye, Warrior.
All right, well, we'll pick your stuff
later.
Actually, when Sunfac came out, I actually started working on Plo Koon, because Plo Koon was the free-to-play equivalent of Sunfac, because he was the only other character with a dispel on his basic. So I actually worked on Plo Koon and substituted him in a bunch of my teams because of Sunfac. That was, I think, the only time I worked on Plo Koon. I never touched him afterwards.
All right.
But he was actually a pretty fun character.
All right. Let's get next question. Start wrapping it up, Finn.
Yep. Next question is from Nightmare. And question to the whole panel. Was there a guild that you hated the most for whichever reason, and which guild was it?
What guild were you in, Ramon?
Alpha.
Yeah, that one.
I was in Alpha, yeah. You guys
that had nothing to do with...
yeah. You hated us?
There was one person in particular
well,
that happened to kick our entire guild out overnight.
Okay, but there was a period of time where there was a period of happiness before that. Okay,
no, not really. No.
It wasn't anything against Alpha. It was against one singular person.
It was a single entity.
Okay, well, and then after that, Alpha lived on in another way, and we weren't the worst. So I mean, but I do understand. Listen, at that time though, I felt like we were kind of like the underdogs in the situation. We were kind of like the the Rebel Alliance against the Empire at that point. You know what I'm saying?
You were fighting within each other, Riemann. We were in the same alliance.
Well, no, I get that the whole dictatorship thing. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was a whole nother thing. That we could talk about that for hours. But that was
good times.
That was a wild situation.
Yeah,
wild times. Yes. I remember those heated nights in Discord. I remember those conversations. Grande, just sorting things out. Guys, it's gonna be all right.
Come on, guys.
Guys, everything's gonna be okay. Listen, this kind of thing happens all the time.
Guys,
you know what I'm saying? It's just, but yeah, it was really tough for a while there to cover up all the nonsense that was going on at that time, because it was always something like
so much drama from another baby's mama.
Yeah, it was always something you just jump onto, like, oh my god.
Talk about soup racism.
All right, and then last question from good old Maurice: how did everyone do on the latest assault battle?
I think everybody kicked ass.
It was the nicest one so far, because everyone, like almost everyone, right? I'm not gonna say everyone, but a lot of people have worked on their Sith already, so it becomes one of the easiest ones to deal with, because it's factions that people have worked on.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones are like these factions that maybe some people at the higher end have worked on, but not necessarily the lower ones. And this one actually felt fine, the tier 2, and that's because I knew I had like my best mods on the team and the gear and stuff on my Sith. So I beat tier 2. That wasn't really a problem. So
Well, that's why I asked, because I wanted to beat it with my first order, and it took me a few tries, but I was curious how the Sith Empire did, I guess.
Oh,
so that's good.
Sith Empire crushed it.
Yeah, with Palpatine lead, I mean, you just destroyed them. You put on auto, good old Maurice.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a huge roster. I didn't really give it much effort, but I wasn't able to beat the first tier or the second tier on either of the first two ones, so it was nice to kind of get in there.
Same. I mean, you like the last one before this. I went in there with my bounty hunters. They're all gear 12 and relic boss, and I'm like, I got this. Wait, am I going to get a turn?
I didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to go. I mean, my boss is 337 speed, and I still had to wait like 9 turns before I could even do anything. And by then, someone was already dead. I'm like, well, shit.
Well, the Secrets and Shadows one, we got another Sith one, another one coming up. This one looks to be a new Mythic Tier 2, the one that starts in about 36 hours. So
yeah, I think was that the Jedi you use on that one?
I don't know. It's the one with Kylo, Nightsisters and Phoenix. So the Nightsisters.
Yeah, the Nightsisters
a lot of people
shine.
have. So
yeah,
this one could be interesting to
just
see how tough.
If you have if you have a nice DACA, you'll be fine, man. Because if you have a relic DACA and Zeta, I mean, I don't care how. I do that with Darkside GOTB. It's like, oh, my whole team's dead. DACA's not res. I keep going, So she's gonna be the star in that one.
All right, I'll throw in one last question here, just because he brought it up. Question was from the Sedge. What would you do if you had to have an '80s costume? I was a child in the '80s, so I would be Baby Yoda.
That's not a costume from the '80s, dumbass.
Costume from the '80s.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember
my costume would be that of a child, so I would be the child.
Oh, Jesus.
See, it all comes together.
You're such a dumbass.
Baby Yoda.
Remember the first charity stream I danced for, that blonde wig I wore?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually from an '80s costume party. I wore that. I took my tightest pair of jeans I had and cut them all the way to where my testicles barely were contained in it.
Yeah.
Were like cut off.
Yeah, we were there. We remember.
Shorts.
Yeah, we remember that. Yeah.
No, but I mean, my costume was that. I wore that wig and the short shorts and like a button up goofy shirt. And I rolled the sleeves all the way up, and just. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can go. You can go punk.
Just picture that though, right? So just take a second. Picture that, and then imagine good old Maurice doing the worm,
and then hurting himself.
Oh, the moose knuckles in full effect at 80s costume party too. I'm not gonna lie. So I let it all.
Painful to watch, painful to witness.
Okay, and we're gonna end on that note.
Moose knuckle, great. All right, this is past that. This is where we let everybody pimp their stuff. We'll start with you, good old Maurice. What's going on with you in Operation Metaverse and the other stuff you're doing?
Streaming on Thursdays. Last stream was really good. If you guys haven't watched it, do check that out. Clash is on. He discussed a lot of these counters that I've mentioned today. And he actually gives a lot of good tips for these upcoming feats. I was kind of hoping you guys would ask some questions about that today. But the upcoming feats are scoundrel related. He gives a lot of good advice on that. We talked about all the news and stuff. We actually have a Patreon workshop here in just a couple hours, so I'm getting ready for that frantically here as we wrap this up.
Yep.
So.
All right, so make sure you check out Operation Metaverse. Next one is, Clash has his own channel. He pimped it already. Ramon, what's going on with you, buddy?
Come watch our stream tomorrow night.
What time?
We're going to be 10:30.
Are we going to start at 10:30?
We will start at 10:30. And not only will we start at 10:30, but we'll start at 10:25.
Oh well.
Okay.
I'll see. I'll believe when it happens. Yeah.
Not only 10:25, maybe 10:20.
Yeah. Don't get distracted with the racist soup.
Not just 10:25. We're gonna go to 10:15.
Maybe 10:15.
Nah, you know what? Let's just make it 11.
It's all right. 10:40. Let's meet in the middle at 10:45 and just say. Let's call it a night.
No, you said 10:30, man. I'm holding you to that.
No. Listen, I want to start at 10. I mean, ideally, I'd like to start at 10.
We're always ready, man. It ain't us.
Fantastic.
It is never us. It's really like, hey guys, I just got back from a drinking party. Oh, I'm sorry.
Listen. I know. I try. It's. I have a son, and he likes to stay up past 10 o'clock. He shouldn't, but I mean, he wants to always play more video games, and sometimes it's tough. I try.
What do you mean? You're the father. Be father.
I know. I know. I
He
just
sits down and plays with him.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And I want I want to have some fun with my son. But yeah, no. I will do my best to be ready early.
10:30.
Yeah,
Eastern.
I'll be ready by then. We'll do it.
All right. Nev, what do you got?
That
going
was
on?
Eastern time zone, by the way.
Yes,
10:30 Eastern.
Yes, I said that.
Yep.
Nev,
Yes.
tell the folks what you got going on.
The show that I do is the Escape Pod cast with my co-host Paul Anthony, who's not here, but always here, always there. He's always on my shoulder when he's not around. But we do a really, really nice long form live podcast on Fridays, and we do other bits and pieces as well. But yeah, if you want to catch our show from last night, it was a long one. I think we went on and on and on for like 2 hours and 40 minutes, but there was a lot to talk about. And we do argue and we do banter. He's left guy, I'm right guy. Right being, the operative word most of the time. So if you want to check us out, you'll find us on YouTube, the Escape Pod cast. We are on Twitch, and I do have a private channel if you want to watch me do
some
streams of GACs every now and then, because I do like to go live with my GAC. Not so much, don't do the daily content anymore because of the Hyperdrive bundle, because I'm free to play, and that kind of screws up free to play daily content. So
All
there
right.
you go.
All right, and if you're watching this on Reality Skewed Gamers. We do this every Saturday from 10 a.m. to right around this time, 12 p.m. Eastern. Make sure, not just for this channel right now, if you're watching right now, make sure you sub if you could. If you like the content and you want to support us, subscribing is the best way to do it. Also, give us a thumbs up on the video. Helps us with monetization and getting our content out there. So if you guys could do that before you jet out, it'd be very much appreciated. And do me another favor, check out these other guys. They come in here. They are here to answer your questions on a Saturday of all things. So if you can show some love and appreciation, visit their channels, watch their videos, give them the thumbs up, do all that great stuff to show your support. We like to support everybody in the community, so support these other channels, watch their videos, watch them when they're live. So I try to do it as much as I can, but just find the ones you like and stick with it and support those guys, and especially when they come here on a Saturday morning to answer questions about a game. That says a lot. What
XO68 cheered. X666. Boo.
What the piss was that? Wasn't scary.
I like it. You should happen again.
That sounded like a crumb.
Sounded like
that was the scare the streamer bits. So that's what XO did.
Okay, let's not play that anymore. That's Jesus.
I would be lying. The other night, I was frantically trying to figure out how to send you guys bits with not streaming on Twitch, so I could keep interrupting the stream. I was frantically trying to send small bit donations all night, but I couldn't figure it out. So
yeah,
so I gave up.
Really good on Maurice.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, what? You guys were in the middle of something?
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God, XO.
Yeah. So
thank you for the bits, XO.
Yeah, so with that, we're gonna call this one done. So on behalf of myself and the panel, thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of your day. And we got anything else going on today, Finn?
When I only had one baby, he said the next time would be just dip and live. We ended up with two babies.
XO68 cheered. X126.
Thank you, XO. So at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to have the new episode of Good and Bad. We're going to do a premiere again. So if you guys want to hop on, I'll be in the chat probably about 15 minutes beforehand, and we'll just chat as we do the premiere for the new episode.
All right. Sounds like a plan. And then tomorrow, I think we're doing D&D. I'm not sure. We should be doing.
We should be good for D&D tomorrow.
So I don't. Was one of the people missing back to back?
Not tomorrow. I think we should be good for tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
I'll confirm and everything, but we should
confirm,
be good for tomorrow.
And we should be back for tomorrow for some D&D. I'm working on the lore videos, so a lot of good stuff. And then the week we have the lunch stream and other stuff that you guys can check out. That we do a lot of live stream for. All right. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Get ready for Finn's video tonight at 7 p.m. It is now that time of day where I have to go do a long distance run and hate my life for this charity stuff we're doing. So have a great rest of your Saturday. Be safe. Look out for one another. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.